Whew. It's been a long time. Let's go. Let's roll. Right here. So today I would like to talk a little bit about myself and just to bring you the story about me and the story about what's going on in my Instagram. The link is right here or right here, I'm not sure. Please check it out. I will be talking about actually the Sigma house that I'm designing currently. I want to just share a story of how it is designed and or what approach I use to actually do it, right? I'm an architect, right? But in a previous video, I have mentioned that I am actually quitting architecture in its conventional forms. I have been working as an architect for almost 18 years or even more, even longer. The more I work, the more I evolve, the more I grow, the more things should be reduced or just skipped or just, and I'm not talking about my professional things. I'm just talking about the life in general. I'm a minimalist and I don't like clutter in my personal life, in my professional life, in my work, and so this is kind of who I am, right? And I understand that personality may be kind of hard to work with. Let's just put it this way. So I'm going to talk about clients and the relationships between architects or designers with the client. And clients, oh boy, they're not easy. They're not easy to work with. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming anything or just putting the blame on someone else. This is the problem in general. So sometimes I was struggling working with difficult clients and it just did not bring me joy, especially clients with, let's say, questionable or, to be honest speaking, maybe dumb requirements for what they think they need. Or, maybe, let's put it this way also, maybe I was the wrong architect for their needs. That's also a possible way of looking at things. But anyway, I'm spreading the story about myself, so I will be talking from my point of view. And there was actually a really good speech from Elon Musk while he was working on SpaceX. He shared this concept of what he has developed.
What I'm trying to have us all just implement rigorously is the sort of 5-step process. First, make your requirements less dumb. Your requirements are definitely dumb. It does not matter who gave them to you. It's particularly dangerous if a smart person gave you the requirements, because you might not question them enough.
Yeah, you might take it as like gospel.
I'm not quite sure what the 5 things were, but I think it was like make requirements less dumb, and he was actually being really clear about this. So if you want, I'll just put a screenshot here so you can just enjoy these steps that he actually have talked about. And the rest of the things, there were like not pretty sure, but let's stay on the requirements side. Oh, and I think there was something about reducing parts, or like, let's say like no part is the best part. So I'm a big fan of this concept that things that can be reduced or just cancelled should be cancelled. I'm dead serious about this. So as you understand, I had troubles working with the clients, especially my style that comes to be, usually people name it as a minimalism. So I just thought, I was just thinking, how can I change my working life? I don't want to switch to another profession. I really love my job, what I do, but I just want to kind of have this twist to it. So I decided, why don't I build or actually design a house that is minimalist, extremely pragmatic, which is actually more important than minimalism, and that can be recreated several times in different locations. And the house is designed for a typical dense Asian type of village. They're usually measured to 1 arrow, so 100 square meters. So the house usually takes all the corners of your land, because the land isn't big, of course, right? So this is kind of the typical land situation here. When I'm designing for a client, the project stays within the client because it's a bespoke thing. You know, it has some personal decisions, which may be, you know, not for everyone. But in this case, the house is so simple and so reduced and so not looking to impress or to be pretty that it's kind of super welcoming for many scenarios, all right, for many kind of clients in the future. And since this project belongs to me, I can reproduce it or build as many as I want, right? As long as there is a demand on that. So what I'm ending up with is a house that I design, what I would say for myself or for my type of person that is not looking for validation from other people, or he's not looking to be, you know, worthy in the environment, in his life environment, right? That is valuing things that are considered like the deep values of architecture, you know, proportions, materials, lightness, the way that the house is being built, insulation, etc., etc., etc. So the house that is being built will eventually find its owner, or so benefits. Building a house in a healthy environment with no clients stressing around budget is being overly done, or the deadline is being pushed further, or any, you know, troubleshooting that the client may not understand. So we are kind of skipping that, right? I have no client to confirm every step that I do. The budget is also not a big thing, you know, in this kind of case, because it's really reduced to the bare minimum. And in the end, the virtual client finds a beautiful house, carefully designed by an architect with all the passion from the high-end architecture. So the client gets pretty cool house, you know, that you don't kind of see it all the time. So here will be the picture of main facade. So it's kind of like cubic white. It basically has no windows facing front. This is kind of an Asian thing if you're here, so you'll understand why it's that. So people want a privacy, they want to be kind of, you know, closed from the road then, and I kind of feel the need for that. But at the same time, the house is really well illuminated inside with a natural light. So the client actually basically gets a huge thing in terms of architecture and design, you know, unseen in this kind of price range. So the client gets the house, which is already built. He knows exactly how much it costs, because this is what he's going to pay. So there is no surprise for him in the end if he wants to design and build it by himself. He sees what he actually gets. It's brand new, and we're thinking about making a warranty for a 1 year term. So there's like one cycle passes, and if there are any problems, they will be troubleshooted or fixed. I am getting paid for my project, for running actually this constructions, and for being a developer. Well, I would say, why not? And the price that we are targeting is actually the average price for the house. So he's actually getting a really good deal with a lot of things combined. And I was thinking about it, and every time this idea popped up in my head, or actually I returned to this idea, I have thought that it actually makes really nice sense. Build not for a specific client, but build what you actually think is right, and then try to find the client that is being responsive to this, or actually shares your values about this. And if we are talking about money or the margin, by reducing things in this house, we're making it faster to build, easier to build, and what's maybe most important, cheaper to build. So by actually subtracting a lot of processes, we are gaining time, we are canceling mistakes, and making things easier in the end. That doesn't make it really primitive house, but it's all these thoughts are actually put in the process of designing this house. So it should come out easier than the average house in terms of building it. All the methods or all the steps of building this, they are really focused on the local labor skill. And what's more important that I have forgot to mention is that the house is actually being designed with engineering point of view, right? So it should be very straightforward, easy to understand, extremely economical, extremely well thought through, and kind of not squeezed to the bare minimum, but actually expanded to the bare minimum. So the less things or the less parts in this process are there, the better the final result. This is where I should actually mention the style or the design approach that I'm really thrilled. Well, it's called actually radical pragmatism. And radical pragmatism, it's actually not the style in terms of how we actually are used to. It's actually the way that we design things. And I'm really surprised why it's not a huge thing now. Don't find any information about this, and I'm kind of thinking of myself or this small group that I know, people that actually talk about this. By the way, one of them is really big YouTuber, that is Martin, I think his name. He does this music machines. We'll link his channel right here or right here, whatever. It's not being popularized as much as it should. Maybe, yeah, I think this is a really good thing to talk about in our further video, and let's call it the radical pragmatism. If you are watching this, just skip to the next one. I think it's that way. This is where we're gonna do our is it going to be fourth video about radical pragmatism and explaining what is it all about and how great that is and why should everyone just fall there and just enjoy working with this new approach of designing. All right, so I guess it's enough for today, and I hope you guys understand me. I'm not looking for everyone to understand or everyone to find sense in my words. I'm just kind of sharing my story. I know that it may not be for everyone, but I really think that there is a lot of clear thoughts of actually working with no client and then just finding the right client than doing it the conventional way or the old school way. I'm just hoping that will bring the energy back. Things should just go way more smoother and way more cooler than before. All right, guys, so that is it for tonight, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.